Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2019. We are on the central coast of California. It's been untypically, not typically wet. What's the right word? It's been a little wet out here in the central coast of California.
It's
not
a
untypical.
hard to predict weather pattern.
Yes.
It's changing by the hour.
But as crazy as that is for golfers, and it kind of put a hindrance in the play, it is much needed here in the central coast of California. So there's mixed emotions. We are very pleased that we're getting water that we need to help the droughts that is in this area, but it's kind of a bummer for golf. But we can deal with it, right, Mike? You're in the industry. Every day, you have to postpone events, but you must be somewhat pleased we're getting some water. Right?
I am pleased, and then my alter ego is going nuts already. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready. I'm ready to move.
But in the spring and summer, we're like, please rain, please rain.
I know.
You can bet, and you would know your maintenance crew, but I know the maintenance crews at most golf courses here in the central coast of California are psyched that we're getting rain.
Yeah.
So anyways, it is what it is. Can't control it. But again, Happy New Year. It's going to be a pretty cool show. We're going to have a live call from Hawaii about the Tournament of Champions. Nikki, our own one and only Nikki Anderson, was out there, and she spent all week there carrying the signs, scoring signs, and doing all kinds of neat things and some really cool stories. So we'll let her share with that experience. She's in Hawaii right now, but she's going to call. Last week at the Tournament of Champions, she was volunteering along with her husband, who I guess he drove the shuttle. And she was on the course every single day, man. That's pretty cool. So she'll be calling.
She's really lucky that he lets her do that, and he doesn't just go, why am I not getting on the golf course?
Yeah, I think he probably likes the people driving shuttles. You know what I mean? I bet he does. So,
but you're in Hawaii.
They live there. They're cool. They got it going. So as I talked to her, she's like, yeah, we're going across the island today. I said, what you going on? How come you're on the course? I'm going across the island and do some shopping. So she's she talks like an islander. I know, it's like across. There's no store on her side.
I'm going across the island today.
We're also going to give our PGA Tour prediction. Mike's got him in his brain. We've been talking hours about that, of just the tour prediction. It's a new year. What's going to happen this year? Just a few bullets of what we think is going to happen. I looked on to last year's. We were close, but if you guys know the show, they might be on a podcast. But there was some that we were very accurate and some that we were way off. But we'll try it again this year, see what's going on. I got that coming up. Playing in wet conditions, we figured it's pertinent, so we'll talk about that. Give some great advice, Golf Talk Radio advice for playing in wet conditions. And then we have our loose impediments, and Mike and I will pick topics and fire them back and forth to each other. So again, hi, Mike. How are you?
Cool.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be in here, and we might as well just say it. I mean, we're recording this show, and it's night.
It's different. It's night. I know it's the first time we've been at nighttime.
And I can see myself reflected in the mirror behind you or the window.
Oh, that's
and it's very strange.
That is weird.
Instead of seeing the sun and the beautiful mountains. And
pulling in here at dark was weird. And I didn't bring my keys. My wife drove us here, so I was wondering, God, I hope the door's open, which it was. And so,
was it?
Yeah.
So I left it unlocked.
Yeah, thank God. I'd be calling you, but I don't have my phone. So it's very unusual. But yeah, so this is going to be on the 12th. Saturday the 12th is today that you're listening to this. But it is not. It is Wednesday.
We are in Bizarro
the
World.
9th, right?
Yeah.
So we're recording this, and I just got back from Scottsdale, so I'll talk about that in the BM.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you drop yours first.
Thanks, man. So
you can drop your BM first.
But I just got back. I was the last few years. My wife is taking me over there for my birthday. So we stayed at the TPC Scottsdale, where the tournament, the Waste Management is played, and they're set up. Man, the bleachers are set up, man, and our hotel is right on. There's two courses there. We're in the Champions course. The TPC Stadium course is right across the street, so you can see all the stuff set up. So we've stayed there the last few years, and we explore. We spend the days driving to different locations, exploring the different amazing topography and land out in the desert areas. So we went east,
cool.
We went north, we took 2-hour drives and went through the Native American reservations. We just did some really cool, drove a lot and loved every minute of it. So got back from that, had probably my best birthday ever. So it was just a really good.
What made it the best birthday ever?
Just everything from the starting off with the breakfast and then the traveling and then we went to a nice dinner. It was just nothing went bad. The meals were perfect. Everything was great. And if you get to Scottsdale, take the drive out to Tortilla Flat. It's about an hour and a half drive from Scottsdale.
I used to go to Tortilla Flats in San Luis.
Yeah, it's a
here.
restaurant.
Yeah, the bar.
Not to be confused.
When I was in college, it was awesome.
We used to hang there and do trips.
They had a drink called the Race Your Face. And erase your face.
It's kind of funny. That's a sand trap, a bunker lesson in first tee.
Is it?
You draw a fixture of a face, and then you put the ball in, and then just tell the kids to erase the face.
I got to remember that.
Yeah, that's how they get the ball out of the bunker. It works every time.
I think if you did that with adults with drinks.
Yeah, on real faces.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Had perfect weather. I guess it was rainy here, but we had perfect weather, and it just was cool. So I thank my wife, if you're listening to this on Saturday. This day, as we speak, as you're listening to the show right now, I'm going to be going down to Long Beach, and I'm inviting Owen Averett, who signed to Long Beach College, Long Beach State, and their home course is Virginia Country Club. It's an exclusive private club down in Long Beach, and I talked with the pro, and they're going to get Owen and I on, and I'm kind of limping around, but I'm going to go and we'll tour his school.
Nice.
And so that's what I'm doing. So that's the main reason that we are recording. You were kind enough to come in at night to let us do it. So thank you.
Yeah.
So that's my little bit. I just want to thank my wife. It was a great visit to Scottsdale. And again, if you're in that area, go erase the face. No, go to Tortilla Flat. It's a cool biker bar, kind of a neat bar at the very end. It goes up to Apache Trail.
Yeah.
And there's an old Western town where they have they do the mock shootouts. But it's a really old Western town.
Did you go to any ghost towns?
That's what it was. It was a ghost town.
Like a real ghost town? Like where there's nobody around, but it's a true ghost town?
No, but I've done that.
I would love to do that.
It's a tourist. It's the last stop for wagon trains. What are they called? The little horse and wagon?
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, stagecoach. The last stagecoach stop before you got into, and it's there. It's been there since the middle 1800s, and they've turned that little town into a tourist area. Nice little stores, but they recreate shootings. And
did you get shot?
No, but it was loud. I thought I did.
Yeah.
No, I just pulled muscle. So anyways, that was awesome. Very cool. So I can't remember the name of it right now, but something goes down, and it's on the way to Tortilla Flat, and the drive, Mikey, the scenery is unbelievable.
Yeah. When I was in Arizona, when my daughter made the national softball team, this was quite some time ago, about 5 years ago. I loved Arizona. I mean, I've been there twice. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
and it's really
lots of desert,
cool,
man. But I'll tell you. But they're all different directions. We went up to a place called Payson, which is about an hour and a half drive, and I believe it was north of Scottsdale, and might have been east northeast. But it was great drive, and it's just a little town. But the drive was cool, and it was so different than the other drive.
Yeah,
I mean, they're totally different
Crazy,
deserts, different rocks, different
Isn't
places.
It? It's weird.
But it was, there's not much out there. I'll tell you that.
I've been, this is not my morning BM, but I've somehow gotten to this habit, like when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I've been watching YouTube, and there's a I think it's a father-daughter, Explore something is the name of them, but they literally seek out old buildings in the middle of nowhere, and they drive out to these places, and I can't stop watching it.
Okay.
And it makes me feel.
Text me the name of the show.
It makes me feel weird when I watch it because there's like you're watching them go through these places they have not been, and so they open the door and it's like, what's going to be in there, And it's some of the stuff's like from the '60s, the '50s, the '70s.
So they find old abandoned buildings.
Oh yeah, they've gone into mines.
Very cool.
I mean, it's really cool. And then you get done and you kind of think, man, like time passes by so fast.
Yeah.
But I can't stop watching it, and it's like.
Do they find cool treasures in these places?
They found some things, but not anything like overly exciting. Yeah. But it's just history.
What's the name
of it? I'll have to look it up at the break here.
But one of the cool things about traveling that I've enjoyed is that seeing new things. I've been all over the place. So and even though I've been to Scottsdale the last 3 years, we're still seeing new things. So our mission is to go somewhere different.
Nice.
And, instead of going, and it's funny because we're creatures of habit, so it's weird to do something different when you're.
Did you see any golf courses while you were there?
We stayed on one, the TPC. We stayed on. Our hotel was on the golf course. So
wow.
It was right there.
And I did see your fountain.
Yeah, my fountain. That's the hotel we stayed at
Yeah.
So
that was a beautiful fountain.
It was a beautiful fountain.
I had no idea that you guys were so into fountains, you and Josie.
That was a phase we went through, the fountain phase.
The fountain phase.
Yes, and we went. There's a place called Fountain Hills, which is up near Scottsdale. that attracts me because of the name, because we were in a fountain phase years ago. But we donated our big fountains to the hotels.
Beautiful.
I sent you some pictures. If you look at my Facebook page,
I did.
I did find out too the 16th hole at the TPC, the big Waste Management tournament, where it's like a huge stadium.
Yeah.
Well, 200,000 people are on that golf course on gallery on that course on Saturday. 30,000 Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. It's always the Sunday of the Super Bowl. So basically, there's like 15,000 on Sunday, 200,000.
No thanks.
And the hotel guy, the valet guy I was talking to, was really cool. He says that it's a nightmare for him to work, but they drive a lot of the people. The hotel sells out immediately. But
I'm sure.
And it's a 2-minute drive to the gate, right? But he drives people over there all the time and brings them back. And he was driving somebody off at 9:30 in the morning last year, and there was people being arrested for DUI at 9:30 in the morning already. I mean, so it's like he says it's crazy, and the people come back from the event, and it's just, he makes a lot of money, but it's a really hard week.
I was going to say,
everybody's tipping him to get him there and back.
He has to make a ton of money.
He said he didn't know, now he's done it so long, he didn't know if it's worth it.
Really?
Because he's really established. He said, him and I hung out a lot. I was waiting for John. I saw John and some coaches from the first tee, and they came and picked me up, and we went out and had drinks. And but I was talking to him. They were running a little late, so about a half hour or so, and the stories. But that's coming up at the end of this month, that tournament, and because Super Bowl Sunday's February 1st or 2nd, whatever. So anyways, it's just, he says it's crazy. I mean, could you imagine 200,000?
No.
You say 20 or 30 are on a golf course during a normal event.
Yeah,
20 or 30,000. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
200,000 just that Saturday.
I couldn't. That's too much.
I
couldn't handle
And they
that.
have to go because they work a table, but everybody runs by the table. It's too busy. No one cares. The first tee, the trend.
Right.
And John was telling me that you have to get to that stadium. They go through the gate, and it's like halfway across the golf course. And there's no assigned seating. You have to first come, first serve.
Oh my god!
And they run. It's different than Augusta because you can't run. So as soon as the gates open, people just haul to get there, and they trample each other and push each other away. This is like when the sun's coming up, and you can't leave. If you go to the bathroom, somebody can take your chair. So if you're there all day and you go to the restroom, you can't, like Augusta.
Oh, that doesn't sound like fun.
It
doesn't sound like fun at all.
I was learning. I know it does not. So when we see it on TV,
that makes the Masters all worth it.
Oh boy, I know, man, it does. So, anyways, interesting story, but I had to tell you that 200,000.
10 years ago or so. I mean, it was back in November, like 2008, when I went back for the PGA national meeting and stayed back there with some friends. I thought that tournament used to be in November.
Now, Super Bowl that week and whatever Super Bowl.
Because when I was there was the PGA meeting. This is back in like November 2008. There's PGA meeting. There was a NASCAR event, and there was a PGA Tour event. It might have been a senior PGA.
It could have been. They have LPGA there stuff too.
And it was insane. I mean, we didn't go. I went to a San Francisco 49er, Arizona Cardinal game. That was one of the reasons I went, because they played on Monday Night Football. One of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. A Monday Night Football game is unbelievable. I've been to the World Series. I've been to places. The World Series was great. But the Monday Night Football and the sound and the vibrations were incredible.
That's cool, man.
So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, even if you're not a big football fan,
go on a Monday night.
Oh, my gosh.
I wonder why it's different.
There's just something about it. I think what it is, I don't know, maybe.
Is it like going to your house on 4th of July? Similar buzz? Is it?
A lot more people. I think they have so many cameras and things and so many things that they're doing that, like that was the first time I saw a camera that actually was going across the center of the field.
Oh, very cool.
And they got the announcers are all positioned in certain places. And not that they don't do that for normal broadcasts, but I think because it is Monday Night Football.
What game did you go to?
It was San Francisco 49ers versus Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, see, and you're the 49er guy.
Yeah.
So
and then it was Mike Singletary, who was the linebacker for the Bears. He was the coach for the Niners. He's a little crazy. And the Niners were at the 2-yard line with like 10 seconds to go and no timeouts. 2-yard line of Arizona. If they score a touchdown, they win it. And he decided to do a dive over the top play from the 2-yard line, which if you know what the 2-yard line is, that's a pretty long jump, trying to jump over a defensive line from 2 yards out.
Where you do your jump in your backyard, that's only a yard and a half,
Yeah,
right?
I can do the yard and a
You
half.
could
Two and a
go
half. Like
2
2
and a
yards, I
half,
can't do it.
No way.
And really, you're going to need to jump probably 3 yards to get over the line to score the touchdown.
And you got to get some height because these guys are big guys.
Big guys.
You just jump over kids,
Right.
right? And
I'm just jumping
pets.
over my kids.
Yeah, you're sure kid. That's why you lay.
Of course, that was about 10 years ago. I can't jump over them now. But they lost. It was a storybook losing game. Like they lost on the dive. The guy fell on the half-yard line from the goal line. And they lost.
There's 49er fans listening right now that remember that.
Oh God, never forget.
So I did want to mention this. Have you heard? So there's a mountain range called Four Peaks outside of Scottsdale, right? Four Peaks.
Yeah.
They also have a restaurant called Four Peaks. So Josie and I we're trying to find a place to have my birthday lunch, and we thought it said Four Peaks, but it was Twin Peaks. Do you know what a Twin Peaks restaurant is? They have. Do you know? So I'll tell you what. I brought my wife twice there. We went there last year too, thinking it was Four Peaks, and it's those hot girls that wear nothing. And Josie was like, "There's 50 people in the restaurant. There was 2 women, and we had the best food." And the best service, because I think they were kind of surprised, and the food was great. And we thought it was a Four Peak twice now. And I'm like,
were they nude?
No. It's kind of like
it's kind of Hooters.
But more Western,
fancier.
Yeah, well, they wear those the cut off jeans and the
assless chaps.
Top. No, but the guy next to us was. But I'm kidding. But anyway, it's kind of funny because we went there last year, and I still thought in my head it was a Four Peaks because it's just down the street.
Four Peaks.
And I just thought, so I asked the girl, "You guys use a play? Are you guys affiliated with the Twin Peaks from Vegas?" Because I've walked by that one.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, we're the same company. We're Twin Peaks." And I said, "Why did you call it Four Peaks? Because of the mountains?" She said, "No, Four Peaks is down the street." So what I thought was a Four Peaks restaurant, because it had a good menu.
That's awesome.
But the food was great, and they treated Josie like a queen, so she loved it because it was, those guys weren't, we were just being a nice couple.
Yeah, they probably appreciated
that. So
I
thought I would share that. I'm probably the only guy that takes his wife to Two Peaks restaurant on his birthday.
Look at the great
back next
look
year.
at the great experience you had.
It was
man.
awesome. So that's it.
So cool.
That's my BM. What do you?
Nice BM. Well, I'm going to save mine for a little later in the show.
Are we expecting a call from Hawaii?
Yeah, we're going to get a call from Hawaii. So we're going to take a break. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy, brought to you by TaylorMade Golf. Check out the latest M5 and M6 drivers, fairway woods, hybrids, and irons at TaylorMadeGolf.com today. Also, Sundale Country Club, 661-831-5224. SundaleCountryClub.com, home of the Bakersfield City Championship for over 30 years. You guys stay with us right here on Golf Talk Radio.